Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hi Zombies fans, I'm Jonathan Clarke. So everybody wants to know when Zombies 5 is coming out. I think this has been the most popular question amongst Zombies fans, and everybody is trying to figure out when Zombies 5 is going to happen. All you guys need to know is that Zombies 5 is coming and that it will happen because there are so many critics on YouTube that are taking advantage of this, uploading fake trailers, fake rumors. Nothing really ever makes sense at this point about what's being uploaded on YouTube about Descendants of Zombies. And I want you to know that I hear each and every one of you. I read down through your comments about your predictions and your theories about what's happening next for Zombies, how the story is going to be developed. But I've always loved a good love story, and that's why I'm so excited about the love story that's forthcoming for Victor and Nova, because these two characters are extremely beautiful and they have so much to offer to this franchise like Zed and Addison did. Zed and Addison took a franchise and really brought it to life. It was so magical hearing their stories about how they felt about each other, and from the very first moment they realized they wanted to spend every moment together, they had the chance to do it. And I think that a lot of people could relate to the story between Zed and Addison because they too wanted to spend the rest of their life with someone who was very special to them in their own life. And they really wish they could tell them how they felt. Because there are more people in this lifetime who are zombieing out than ever given credit for. And we see this all the time with how they never pay attention to what you're talking about or what you're texting them. It happens every day. But I think that Zombies really allowed us to relate to the story more than ever before, any other franchise that had ever come before it or will ever come after it. Because I think we will never see stars like this ever again. So because we will never see stars like this ever again, these are moments that we really got to enjoy, that we really got to forever and always embrace and never ever forget. Because I say this because I've never wanted to be forgotten, and I've always wanted to be a part of something special. And Descendants of Zombies gave me that chance to undeniably become a part of something special. It may just have came in the form of me sharing with you my opinion on Descendants of Zombies because I had a great appreciation for love stories and theater for so many years. I feel like I've been a part of every generation of Disney and every aspect of the theater, which is why I can analyze this one and break it down for you better than anybody ever could on YouTube. And I've had so much enjoyment from doing it because I've been able to touch the hearts of so many millions of people who have found this YouTube channel, who have subscribed here. And with that comes a lot of responsibility because I feel like every video that I ever upload, all I've ever wanted is to never let you guys down when it came to my theories and my predictions that I made with you and share with you about why I was a fan of Descendants of Zombies and what I thought was coming next for Zombies 5. Because I've always been a fan of mermaids, and I've heard so many incredible stories of mermaids over the years. I've read them, I've heard them online, and I think that a greater appreciation for this franchise would happen if mermaids were to see their introduction into this franchise, because there are so many wonderful things that could happen off the introduction of mermaids. Having said that, just not mermaids have been made as a prediction. We've heard stories about witches, we've heard stories about sirens and pirates. So many things have been brought forth since the introduction of this vortex in the story was revealed at the conclusion of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. And obviously there's been a lot of theories about what's coming next for Victor and Nova, how their friendship will be tested, if indeed they will kiss, they will get to a point where they'll tell each other they love each other. And that's going to be a moment that's going to be built up over time. So when it eventually happens, it's going to really touch each and every one of our hearts because we think they're adorable together. They really become inseparable. So because they become inseparable, and that's more obvious than ever before, I think this is something we should really have fun with. Because I'm here to tell each and every one of you, there is nothing wrong with ever having been a fan of zombies, because I've been a fan of zombies just like each and every one of you. So much so that I took the chance upon myself to move into a house near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that I know could explode at any given moment. But that's what's so fun about life, how unpredictable it is and how we never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. Each time I upload a video, just as an example for each and every one of you, I never know how many views I'm going to get or how many people are going to subscribe. But you guys never cease to amaze me for the incredible love and support that you always come out with for Descendants of Zombies. I remember years ago at these conventions when they expected probably 50 people to show up and probably 200 or 300 people would show up at each Zombies convention. And it just went to show how far Zombies had come in such a short amount of time. And the unique thing about Zombies is it still has so far to go because it's touching the hearts of millions of people. Within days of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premiere, it went to #1 on Disney Plus. And it went to #1 on Disney Plus because of how much each and every one of you believed in this franchise. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that. Kind of like how you guys made this one of the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channels in the world, because you saw the good in every video that I ever uploaded, and you saw the good in me. And you allowed me, and you gave me the chance to be your host of this show and to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies to help you make sense of everything related to Descendants of Zombies. Because I know how you guys feel watching these reaction videos that have never made any sense to begin with. I mean, every reaction video that I watch every single night about zombies really never lives up to my criteria. Because I feel as if you're going to record a reaction video about zombies, at least record a reaction video that makes sense to the person watching it. Because every single time that you upload a video about zombies, you've got to think about the person watching the video on the other end and how they feel about zombies and how they're so excited for the upcoming Zombies 5. So that doesn't give anybody the right to upload a video with a fake release date suggesting when Zombies 5's release window is going to happen, or what kind of characters are going to be presented in the storyline and what's going to happen for that storyline. Because it's 5 years suggesting the release between Zombies 4 and Zombies 5, and that's quite a gap. So within that 5 years, anything could happen up to that point. If you think about it, Freya Sky is going to be 19 by the time Zombies 5 happens. And then it will become more obvious than ever before that perhaps Victor and Nova's characters should be embraced more and they should share a kiss. Because I think everybody wished that the same thing that happened for Zed and Addison's characters in the Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires movie would have happened for Victor and Nova. But the thing you've got to think about is they've got to create a story, and they've got to develop it over time. So as each chapter reveals itself embarking on this new franchise, that gives us more of a reason to be excited than ever before. And I may just be saying this because I've always had a greater appreciation for theater and developments of scripts like Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and Phantom of the Opera and Dracula for years. But I say this because if more people gave this more of a chance than ever before, then only good things would happen. And people would feel more confident in the criteria that they feel like they never can live up to because of how some YouTuber feels about them. I think that they're in a position right now to really take over and to really captivate the world. So because they're in a position to take over and captivate the world, that's something to marvel in. That's something to be really excited about. And I think just because we don't know what's coming in that future, that's what makes us so excited to be Zombies fans for the foreseeable future. I know many of you will be teenagers by the time Zombies 5 happens, but that's what's so cool about life. In this moment, you guys will be very appreciative of Zombies 5, and you'll be more excited than ever before to watch it, trust me. And you'll think about all the times that you were a fan of zombies, all the incredible memories that you shared being a fan of zombies, perhaps when you were 7 years old, even though there's about a 10-year gap being suggested between Zombies 4 and Zombies 5. And I promise you guys, you will never ever forget all the contributions you made to this franchise and just how much you believed in it. Because 10 years ago, I was looking for something to fall into, and I was looking for something that would be incredibly supportive of how I felt about it, and it just so happened that it was Descendants of Zombies. And I have forever been appreciative of every single person who has ever subscribed to this YouTube channel and who has ever seen the good in me before anyone else ever could. Because I've been a fan of every aspect of Disney for forever. I've even liked High School Musical for forever. But I think that when you compare the two musicals, like Descendants and High School Musical, nothing ever comes close in terms of verity to anything that Descendants has ever done. Because Descendants, in all honesty, guys, has really shut down every critic. Descendants of Zombies has excelled to the heights of unprecedentedness. And that's what makes it so fun for me to sit behind this microphone to review Descendants of Zombies for however long I have, because I've lost track of the years. But throughout the years, I've had the honor of meeting so many wonderful people who have felt inspired by these wonderful characters like Mal and Evie and Red and Chloe. And I've really marveled in that. This is a story that I wish could never be over, that never would have to end, because there are so many predictions that have yet to be made, and I'm the only one crazy enough to voluntarily jump inside of this vortex. But that's what's so cool about this, is because as you read down through the discussion forums, there isn't a single person who isn't a fan of zombies, and there isn't a single person to make a prediction about what's happening in zombies. Everybody loves to have their theories and predictions about zombies. And I think there are more people more excited than ever before for Zombies 5. But the thing you got to think about too is it's early on, so things like a budget have to be approved, a script has to drop, and by the time a script drops, that's going to give us more reason to be excited than ever before. Because as the script drops, there's something called a development of a script, which means character traits, storylines, music, lyrics have to be put to a melody, and that's what's going to make this one so beautiful. I, for one, love a good love story, so when I first saw the love story between Zed and Addison played out and distributed, I was so excited about it. The very first moment they met inside of the zombie safe zone, knew it was going to be something special. And they were presented with so many challenges and conflict throughout the course of the relationship that it made us think about our own lives, because I think that we related to Zed and Addison more than any other power couple we may have encountered over the last 15 years, and we've seen many of them. Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, of course, Mal and Ben from Descendants. There have been so many power couples that have come and gone out of our lives. But I think this is going to be one love story that will never ever be forgotten. Because I know there are people out there that binge watch the Zombies franchise time and time again. You've given up hours of your life just to watch the Zombies franchise. I say this because I have too, and I think that's so cool. It's very random, but I think it's so cool. And that's why I say there's nothing wrong with ever having been a fan of zombies and believing in it as much as what you have. Because as long as you continue to believe in a franchise as powerfully as what you do Descendants and Zombies, only good things can happen. I think that your favorite stars have been subject to so much criticism over the years, which is completely unnecessary. And I think if we're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, we should talk about it in a way that there's so much meaning attached behind it, because it will give it promise, it will give it hope, and it will shut down every critic who ever feels the way they do about Descendants and Zombies when it comes to recording these reaction videos, because I know how frustrating that must be for everybody watching these reaction videos that have never made any sense to begin with. I remember all the reaction videos for the Place to Be music video just last summer, and nobody ever wanted to give this one much of a chance. But if you actually gave a chance to the Place to Be music video, you would notice that there is so much of an appreciation coming from everybody who was ever a part of it. The people that were a part of it in New Zealand were so appreciative of the moment. The cast members were so appreciative of the moment, and that's what gave it so much life and showcased so much incentive. It was the purpose behind that music video was to introduce us to the Daywalkers and the Nightwalkers and their significance. And ever since they were introduced to us for the very first time ever, they went on to captivate millions of people. And that became one of the most popular songs off the Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampire soundtrack for its verity. Along with that came Don't Mess With Us and Legends in the Making. Legends in the Making was one of my favorite songs because I always wanted to go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, and I've always had a fear of being forgotten about. So I quickly realized in order to never be forgotten, I had to solidify my legacy. And I know now more than ever before, because of each and every one of you, I have a greater chance than ever before, perhaps, of actually accomplishing my goal of going down in history for being one of the greatest of all time. I have so many people subscribe to this YouTube channel who refer to my legendary career all the time, and I can never seem to thank you guys enough for all the love and support that you've shown me every single time that I've ever uploaded a video, because the reality I'm faced with is each time I upload a video about Descendants and Zombies, I never know how many views I'm going to receive, what sort of response I'm going to come across, but everybody seems to show so much love and support for every video that I've ever uploaded, because I believe in the love story between Zed and Addison so much, and you guys can really feel that appreciation with every video that I've ever uploaded. I may not have the Descendants and Zombies posters or the dolls to back up my claim, but at least I have the love and support of each and every one of you who have become some of my best friends because we share in that same passion for Descendants and Zombies. And I get it. A lot of you are really passionate about drawing your favorite Descendants characters, and you're really passionate about collecting the dolls and Descendants and Zombies merch and everything that goes with it. And I think that's so cool, because years ago I collected whatever I could get my hands on, from Pokemon cards to video games. I'm still very passionate about spending all my money on video games, as you can get from my massive video game collection there in the back. And I love showcasing that, and I love talking about that because it shows a greater appreciation for your interests. So 10 years ago, you guys fell in love with a franchise that went on to captivate your heart in so many unique ways. And each one of you, the most amazing thing about talking about these franchises are, with how much it captivated each and every one of your hearts, each and every one of you had a story that you shared with the world about why you were a fan of Descendants and Zombies, why you felt inspired. And that's why I feel as if your favorite stars have been subject to so much criticism for what must feel like forever for many of you. And it's far long enough somebody showed up on YouTube with that same appreciation for Kylie, with that same appreciation for Ruby, with that same appreciation for Meg and Milo, because they deserve appreciation and they deserve gratitude where gratitude is deserved. And I think that with how far they've come, which is a considerable distance in the course of 7 through 10 years, it's been so remarkable to see everything they've endured. Because you take, for instance, Freya Sky. I mean, you can choose to criticize Freya Sky as much as what you want, but what you got to take into consideration is she's only 16, so she still has a long way to go. You know, when I was 16 years old, I was in high school. I didn't know what direction my life was headed in. I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know what to make of anything around me or what was happening. All I ever wanted to do was play the latest video game on PlayStation 2 because I was a big PS2 fan. I still am. But that is what made me cool, and that's what separated me from everybody. At 16 years old, I was far from one of the most famous YouTubers in the world. It took me 25 years to achieve rarity for everything that I ever did. But it was because of each and every one of you for having seen the good in me that it happened. And I think it can really happen for every one of us who are fans of Descendants of Zombies. It's all about how much incentive we have for putting a dream into action. It's like the old song from Victorious, Make It Shine, that emphasizes that as long as you put your dream in action, anything can really happen for you. And I think that's what's so magical about franchises like Descendants of Zombies, is that anything can really happen. Because if you notice from the Worlds Collide Tour, Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker had a stronger emphasis and a stronger appreciation coming from them about how when you really put a dream into action, the possibilities are really endless. And that's all I've ever wanted to encourage in every video that I've ever uploaded. Every night that I record a video and I sit in front of this microphone, I can only hope that I've encouraged somebody to believe in Zombies 5 happening, because indeed it will. If you believe strongly there will be a future for Zombies 5, then perhaps you should continue to believe that, because I think as long as you continue to believe it, the possibilities are endless. There are so many predictions yet to be made and discussed. There are so many storylines yet to be presented and derived from everything that's already happened in the Zombies franchise, because we've seen so many supernatural forces, from werewolves to aliens to eventually vampires, not just one specific group of vampires, but two. We've had Daywalkers and Nightwalkers see their introduction into this franchise, which makes it so fun to be a part of this franchise, because we don't know, after everything that's been introduced, what's coming next. Take it from a guy that's been trying to get beamed up by aliens for forever. I haven't succeeded yet, but if I ever do succeed at it, I'll be the first one to let you guys know. You'll be the first to know what that experience is like. I've seen so many doc series where people have been beamed up by alien spacecrafts and they can't remember where they were, what the events they were a part of were like. It's so mysterious. And I think at one point or another that we watched the Zombies franchise, if you're a fan of zombies, you probably thought like that too, thinking this is so cool. You know, what if this ever happened to me? What if I ever got beamed up? Or I ever, discovered that my family had a history with werewolves or vampires. I think it's so fun being a fan of this franchise, because the predictions and the dreams that you guys have had are actually crazy. I think it's amazing how we have millions of people who have always felt inspired, have forever and always felt intrigued by Descendants of Zombies, and how you guys have really brought this one to life. That's what makes it so incredible for me to sit in front of this microphone to review Descendants of Zombies for however long I've had the chance to review Descendants of Zombies. I felt so honored to have been your voice of Descendants of Zombies over this last year, and I think that if you have a belief that Zombies 5 is going to happen, then perhaps you should continue to believe in that for the foreseeable future, because indeed there is a future for Descendants of Zombies. The reason why people are doubting it now is because Disney has not officially announced a release window for Zombies 5. There are suggestions having been made that Zombies 5 will happen as late as 2028, and I know that feels like forever away, but all that means is I'm just going to have to upload Zombies videos for the rest of my life, and I have no issues with doing that, because I know how much everybody loves talking about Descendants of Zombies and talking about these beautiful love stories between Zed and Addison, because there is so much of a love story to experience, and I'm just excited to be a part of it, because all I've ever been is excited to be a part of whatever I have the chance to be a part of, because of each and every one of you. Because there are far too many critics when it comes to Descendants of Zombies uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies to this platform every single night that have no business ever being uploaded to YouTube to begin with. And if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to say something nice about your favorite stars, how I felt inspired by Kylie Contrell, how I for sure felt inspired by Meg Donnelly, who doubts herself more times than ever given credit enough. I think she's a beautiful person. I think Kylie Contrell is a beautiful person in so many infallible ways. So because I believe quality control is a beautiful person in so many imaginable ways, it's just so fun for me to sit behind this microphone to talk about her and say nice things about her, because it will give people encouragement that things like Zombies 5 and Descendants 5 are going to happen. We already know that Descendants 5 Book Wonderland will happen sometime between now and July 2026. Again, I know we're a year away from Descendants 5 Book Wonderland ever happening, with an unofficial release date forthcoming. But by the time this happens, in the midst of all these fake teasers and trailers that we've seen on YouTube, we'll make it all worth it in the end, because this really has been an incredible journey for me that I've had the honor of being on because of each and every one of you. You guys allowed me to discover my passion and my true calling for being a YouTuber, and I have each and every one of you to thank for that. So having said that, thank you guys so much from my heart to yours for taking a chance on me when you really didn't have to, and really hearing my voice and watching every video that I've uploaded from the very beginning. This has become the greatest honor of my life. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. As we stay calm and zombie on into that foreseeable future together, because there's no better way to experience this than together, as we share in our thoughts and our predictions and our hope for that foreseeable future which is forthcoming for the Zombies franchise. Thank you so much for having watched this video.